My name is Dr. Candy Lewis, and I'm the owner of the Lotus Concept. I decided to pursue a career in natural health, which one thing led into another. I started off with aromatherapy and reflexology, and those things I thought I could incorporate into my business, similar to what spas have today. But the more I started studying and completing the course, one thing led to another, and I decided to pursue an Master Herbalist certification, and then went on to pursue a naturopathic doctor. Constantly am taking classes. There are basically three entities. You have trichology, you have hair, skin, and nails. And then you have, and the trichology is more working with hair, skin, and scalp disorders. And just the regular cosmetology end of the business is going to the hair shows and learning new styles and cutting and coloring techniques. And then you have the wellness piece. So as a naturopath, I attend many seminars with other of my professionals, doctors, chiropractors, acupuncturists, and functional medicine doctors. So I'm constantly either on the road or even lecturing myself at one of those types of events. So yeah, I'm always picking up something new. I decided to go into business for myself early on in my career, at least as a cosmetologist. I come from a long line of barber beauticians. My grandfather went to Madam C.J. Walker. He's from New Jersey, and my grandmother was in New York City, and they were my maternal grandparents. My grandmother worked on Madison Avenue, and her salon was actually in basically an apartment building on the ground floor level, and I was excited to learn about all her clients that would come down. And one of her clients was Jackie Onassis, or Jackie Kennedy's sister. My grandfather was in New Jersey, and he was a very excellent barber and had other barbers working for him. He actually was a barber beautician, although he had a barber shop. Later went into real estate, became a real estate broker, a pretty successful guy himself. So I just grew up around that, and they were extremely well respected in their field and in their cities, and I always admired that. After high school, went into education, went to Wright State, University of Cincinnati, then Wright State University, but later really decided after I'd gotten married and had my first child that I wanted to pursue my own business, but in the career in the beauty industry. The influences in helping me start my business originally was my grandfather, Lloyd Lewis Sr. He was a businessman. He was my fraternal grandfather. So both my grandparents were very successful in businessmen. And I was extremely proud of both of them, and they were both that influence. But he was the one that helped me. It was over the kitchen table. Many times I'd leave crying, and my grandmother could not stand our debates at the table. My grandfather was a wonderful man. He allowed me to be the businesswoman sitting across the table from him when it came to setting my business plan and discussing finances and justifying why I needed those finances. I often think it would have been easier for me to just go to the bank and maybe get a loan than to deal with him. But I learned a lot from that, gained a lot of respect for him. He was actually even started helping me keep my books. I think that was to make sure I was controlling my books for me. But it was a great experience, and I learned a lot. Since then, I'm proud to say I don't know if it's proud, but I can say I've only had one business loan, and that was from him. And I was able to take money and continue to reinvest back into my business. I have people tell me I'm really passionate about what I do. I don't know, I prefer to look at it as a gifting. I think that this is a God-given thing, gifting. And when I'm operating in that, it's like, I'll do it for free. Although I can't always do that, I have to make a living. But I love what I do to a point that sometimes I forget how much people owe me. Or or when they get results, when I get a client and they call back and they're getting results, they're moving. I call it pop in the clutch. Those of us that are old enough to know that term, pop in the clutch. when that happens, it's like, yes, and that's more of my payment. Yeah, we've got to get paid. Yes, we have to pay bills. I got to pay DP&L just like everyone else. But it feeds my spirit. It fuels me to go on to the next step. And it actually encourages me, because sometimes I don't always practice what I preach. Sometimes I'm not always there. And when my clients are getting those kind of results, it's cool. It's the coolest thing in the world.